This episode was recorded on February 14th, 2024. Since we took time to speak about the Super Bowl in today's episode, we wanted to pause and take a moment to give our condolences to those affected by the Kansas City Super Bowl parade shooting. Our hearts go out to everyone who was affected by this senseless act of gun violence.
Welcome to Fame and Fire, where three ADHD-riddled, fiery Aries women
try to stay on topic while discussing their favorite pastimes,
reality TV, and celebrity gossip. I'm Spencer.
I'm Elise.
And I'm Christina.
Welcome back, Fame Whores, and happy Galentine's Day.
Spending it with your favorite gals.
Definitely my favorite gals.
Definitely. My husband is out there playing video games.
Morgan's watching some show that I don't care about.
This is the way.
Mine's not even in this country.
So the Super Bowl was this weekend.
We were obviously rooting for the Niners, and it was horrible. But what we had said was just that we hoped it was a really good game, and it was a really, really good game. And
it was a really good game.
I can't even be mad at the end.
Can we talk about the fact that the Niners players are trying to say that they didn't know the overtime rules when the overtime rules were explained before the overtime?
Well, there's multiple problems here. One, but okay, let's just say that they were under pressure, zoning out, thinking about the plays that are going to happen. You're really going to tell me that that in all these weeks preparing for the biggest game of y'all's career, you didn't discuss the overtime rules that are new? You couldn't waterboard that out of me. You couldn't waterboard that I didn't know a key detail of my job at a high level out of me. No, I would lie about that till the death. That's crazy.
But also, more importantly, is the footage from the after parties has been just incredible.
Iconic. I mean, Jason Kelce.
That's the one I saw, because everything else is Travis and Taylor kissing, which at this point, I love them. I ship them so hard. I want them to get married and everything. But, I've seen them kiss enough times, so I scroll past pretty quickly. But one of them had a caption that said, "Wait till you see Jason." And so I watched the whole thing, and it, panned over to him. And it was great.
And then, okay, so on their podcast that they just released, they were asking Kylie if she's ever seen him do the belly dance. And she was like, "What do you mean? That's you hip thrusting. Your belly just gets in the way."
That's so funny.
Also, the Swifties are freaking out because Taylor Swift posted a normal person on social media, what she was doing. And she hasn't done that since her OG Tumblr days.
Posted a TikTok.
And so the Swifties are she posted a TikTok about going to the club with her parents.
I love that.
The halftime show, yeah. I was unimpressed until the end. Alicia Keys.
Oh my God. Alicia Keys did not hit that first note.
Oh, I heard that. Or I heard TikToks of people talking about it, and they said when they go back and watch, it's fixed now.
If you watch it on the NFL's YouTube or official channels, everything is auto-tuned now. And I was like,
so wild.
Girl.
It was
bad.
I mean,
girl.
That's literally a big stage. Yeah. So I'm sure tons of people, we've seen Janet Jackson's nipple on that stage. So if Alicia Keys is cracking a note,
well, maybe
I'll give her a
just don't perform a song where you're coming in on a really high note as your first note. Maybe that's just fair. Don't do that.
I also am maybe wondering if there was something to do with sound check or something, but I truly did not start to feel it until probably we got when Usher started stripping.
Well, yeah.
I think that's when it really became a vibe. And then we got Lil Jon and Ludacris.
Now
and
we're
I was
all good.
Yes.
But I kind of was surprised that Justin Bieber they didn't do Baby or something. They didn't, or something together. I was surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was we're not doing that.
I thought it would have been cool, but it's fine. Swifties were also coming after Travis because he got a little heated at his coach on the sideline. And it's just so funny because, first of all, in football in general, they get the guys so hyped up and like have them in talking shit to each other and getting them angry on purpose and riled up. So like, and then it's the biggest game of the year. So you have to put all that into it. And then it's just like the most high pressure situation ever. And you're going to judge him on that when he just got taken out of the game and the most high pressure situation of his life when he's already jacked up on like pushed into the most testosterone ever.
That's my thing is like, this is like, I said this to you guys, but like, this is the most high pressure, literally the pinnacle of his career, if not his life. And you're telling me you don't expect someone who to be like a little overly emotional. And like, we already know men tend to not be able to handle their emotions. So like, have y'all never played sports before? Like, you're trying to tell me you don't get heated when you want to really fucking win a sports
competitive
game?
on Mario Kart. Like, come on.
I literally told Morgan, I was like, I think everyone that thinks that this is like a red flag has never played sports before or done anything competitive before. Like, not seriously competitive. Because like the amount of rugby games I lost my absolute shit, and it was like
not even that
it
big
was women's D2 regionals, you know?
Yeah. Not Super Bowl.
It wasn't the fucking Super Bowl.
And like Jason held him accountable. Travis admitted he was wrong, like on the podcast. Like they apologized. Like everyone admitted that it wasn't the right thing to do, and like that he didn't repeat it again after that. But I still find it funny that so many people are like, Taylor, be careful.
People have been waiting for someone to fuck up in this relationship, and he gave them literally the smallest crumb, and they were like, that's it, he's abusive.
I was like, that is such a leap using
No,
Taylor
thank
Swift.
you.
Like,
we don't need that narrative.
So dumb.
Are you guys ready to get into this Kanye West and
Please
Ozzy
tell
Osbourne?
me what is going on.
Yes.
So it all started with Ozzy Osbourne tweeting, Xing, whatever we're calling it right now, basically saying that Kanye West asked for permission to sample a section of Iron Man, the live performance from 1983, and they refused it. They said, no, you can't use it. And Ozzy Osbourne specifically cited because you're an anti-Semite. And then Kanye posted all of this stuff on his story like he normally does. And then tried to be like, well, you and your wife dressed up as me and my wife for Halloween. And it's like, yeah, because you wear Halloween costumes every time you're seen in public. So, like, it makes sense that people dress up as you.
Did they really dress up as them?
Yeah, hold on. I'll show you. I'll pull up the picture.
I'm, like, looking for the photo, too.
I was watching TikToks about this, and Sharon Osbourne, a.k.a. Ozzy Osbourne's wife, has been his manager for a really long time, like, since they got together. And Sharon Osbourne's dad is also a music manager who has a very seedy reputation in the music industry and is known as being like cutthroat, ruthless. And Sharon has also been known to do some pretty like ruthless shit. And so people were like, Kanye,
don't
man,
mess with them.
You crazy, but Sharon Osbourne equally crazy with some sense. And Sharon has been known to also have some like pretty cutthroat like business practices. So it, you know, here's
incredible. Sharon and Ozzy's Halloween costume of Kanye and Bianca. Can we briefly toss in Bianca's literal naked outfit of being literally naked underneath a clear poncho in a monsoon when it was cold out?
She's either in on this bit, like she's either in on the bit and she's consenting to the bit, and she's like, this is the fucking funniest thing on planet Earth, that people think that I'm like being abused or unwell,
which
or, like,
isn't funny, but
which isn't funny. Or she's genuinely being like heavily controlled by this man and he's trying to humiliate her.
That's what's hard is we know through like past behavior is the strongest determination of what future behavior is going to be. We know he dressed Julia Fox. We know he dressed Kim. And I like there's a narrative out there on Reddit specifically that like obviously like Bianca has some features, whether purchased or store, like, born with.
Either store bought or natural.
That she has a lot of Kim features. and people think that he's playing out some sort of purposeful
weird
ridicule and like humiliation of her because he can't do it to Kim.
I think he has like a lot of issues regarding women that stem from some mommy issues. And I 100% think he's like trying to humiliate this woman. Again, I would love for nothing more in the world for her to be in on this bit and for her to be like one day like, haha, joke's on all of you guys. But it's icky. And if you're in on the bit, can you just like tell everyone you're okay? The fact that Kim Kardashian is dating Odell Beckham Jr. is probably not helping.
No. He's probably spiraling.
That is everything that I had for celeb gossip today.
We should.
I'm excited to get into our TV show.
Traitors. Okay. I think we probably have 2 weeks to catch up on, but what was this last week's challenge killed me. It was making me laugh so hard. Hilarious. It was like Sheree and Phaedra and CT and just seeing all of them get put up in those traps in the trees. Best moment of my life. Best moment of my life.
I love that Peter was the only one who had to fall into a literal mud pit.
I'm glad that they finally got Dan out, but I'm definitely worried for Parvati and Phaedra. And this last one where they had to like, this last one was weird. Oh, they did the you pick someone, then you pick someone, then you pick someone, then you pick someone. CT not picking Trishelle.
I was shook. But he wasn't wrong. Picking John was better for his game because Trishelle's being messy boots.
She's the only one, though, who has clocked Phaedra after Dan dropped her name.
I cannot believe that Peter did not accept their invitation to then only turn around and act the most suspicious.
No, I just think that they should have chosen someone more far removed who would have been more under the table, like Kate or something, and it would have been...
Also was freaking deceased at Phaedra telling Parvati.
Oh my god, stop being so cold. And then she's like, what face? And she's like,
she really does just have a stank face.
Have you seen that meme on Instagram? And it's just a picture of Parvati like up against her, like almost Zoolander.
Parvati's not likable. She's not likable.
Speaking of the traitors, Larsa and Marcus broke up. And she unfollowed him on Instagram during the Super Bowl and removed all the pictures of him from her socials during the Super Bowl. Like,
that's hilarious.
Girl, Real Housewives fans are not all watching the Super Bowl.
Like, this was like 0 Dark 30 when she could safely undo
it.
Right.
She's so weird. Love is Blind.
Okay. I love Mullet Man. Trevor, love Mullet Man. Love him. I would die for Mullet Man.
Golden Retriever energy.
I would die for Mullet Man.
Sweet. Yes.
I'm really loving I was really loving J Squared.
Wait, Trevor, first. That was when Trevor and Chelsea, they were like, that's my dog's name. That's my dog's name.
I really like Jess.
Yes.
She's the one with the kid, right? The
it's interesting to have a single mom. That's the first time we've had that. My main thing that is in all caps was just Matthew, because what the actual fuck? Because first of all, he just is rude as fuck. He's like, oh, you're going to ask me a personal question and walk out.
He said, I'm out.
You're going to talk too long? Okay. I'm also out for that. So you can't ask me personal questions. You can't talk for too long. I'm a fucking piece of shit. Like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
My first note for this whole episode was literally, I'll read it verbatim. Matthew, this guy cannot output a personality. He literally was just like, I have 15 questions. And when he said, like, I'll let you pick a number, I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Like, this guy's, like, going to make it fun. And then she asked him, like, okay, what about you? He goes, I really didn't anticipate you would ask me back. I'm asking the questions here. And I was like, is this a joke? Are we joking? Okay.
So, like, that all happened. And then finally we get to the pod with AD. And she's like, cut the crap. And he, like, breaks down a little bit. And then production bait and switched us because obviously they're trying to give it to us from AD's perspective.
He seemed so sweet,
and he seemed so genuine. We were like, oh my god, this like beautiful woman who's like clearly never been spoken to like this before has broken his walls down. He's like ready to fucking go, just for them to break our hearts and tell us that he said the exact same shit to Amber.
Verbatim, too.
Verbatim.
That's why I had to go on to the next episode, because I was like, hold the fuck on. I need to see how this goes on. Like this man
running through the living room.
My mood was like through that whole first episode.
Well, it's like
Gagged and Befuddled.
Clay being like, what do you look like?
AD and Clay had such a cute connection right out the gate. And then he was like, honestly, though, if I don't find you hot, I won't propose. And I was like, what are you doing on this production?
It's like his fuckboy energy came out that he's trying to get away from, and he couldn't. Like, it's like it came back out, and he couldn't get away from his fuckboy. It was funny to me. I wrote down... like, I don't know what kind of mood I was in, but I wrote down, I hate that I don't even know who I was talking about, but I just said, I hate that she's already crying in episode 1. Settle down. It's just a show.
It just bothered me that the two people we followed with AD both seemed so sweet from the jump. And then had a massive character flaw, like, by the end of the
Like
episode.
You said, can't trust men.
Anyways, those are the thoughts, I think, on episode 1. I know we haven't even met everyone yet.
I know.
Excited to get into the next.
So it's the best part of our week. It's Vanderpump Rules time. And Christina, like you said, it has been 2 weeks of Tom's bullshit. Both of the Tom's bullshit. And one thing that I was telling Spencer is, like, I've been forgetting how quickly after Sandoval this all filmed, and like how raw it still is for all of them, especially Ariana. And like, I don't get how she's so poised, honestly, because I'd still be fucking raging.
That's what I had to remind myself. I've got to remember that, like, I closely monitored the situation in real time. So the fact that all of this feels like old news to me as I watch it is because it literally was being recorded. And I'm more caught up on what they're recording than I've ever been on what I've watched in the past.
Yeah.
So it has felt like, though, the last 2 episodes, episode 2 and 3, have been like the poor Tom show, where everyone's talking about how Tom's an outcast, or poor Tom and his birthday, and all he has is these lame friends that no one recognizes. I love, by the way, when James is like, who the fuck are these people? And they pan to like a bunch of these faces we've never seen before. It killed me.
I was dying because I also felt this way when that Jesse guy came up to him at Sir. And it was like and production acted like we were supposed to know who this person is.
He's been in the show like for years as like one of the servers, but he's just like a very D-list character.
Like, not for seriously.
Yeah, no.
At this point, though, Peter's like D-list. Like, we haven't seen him in a couple seasons, really. And like, this dude's like F-list.
The way he came up and like tore into him was like, who are you to do this?
I mean, I guess, like, to be fair, again, like, at the time, everyone felt empowered to say whatever they wanted to him. So
I just found it so awkward that, like, why did Sandoval feel the need with Kyle Chan to go sit there? I mean, honestly, like, production probably said you got to go here to film, but like, how awkward for the two of them to just sit at that table and Sir and just
so awkward.
And then she had to walk by. Just the whole thing was so forced and uncomfortable. I could not handle it.
The Sheena and Tom conversation where he's like, you look like Shania Twain. And she's like, thank you.
But, you know what we did get? We got the Sir Alley back.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Which was pretty epic.
Sheena
Yeah.
is just the fakest fakety fake bitch ever. And it's so hilarious because last episode or the beginning of this episode, she's like crying to Brock about how Sandoval blocked me and I just want to make sure he's okay after his friend died, which like, sure, fine, whatever, kudos to you. And then Sandoval tries to stop her and sir in front of everyone. She's like, not here in public in front of everyone. Not here. Ariana's right there.
I will say, for the first time and probably only time, to Tom's credit, the day she was like, hey, I hope everything's okay, she dropped a podcast shit-talking him. Like, I wouldn't talk to you either.
No.
I would not reply to you either.
No, definitely
so
not.
for her being like, okay, but that was, she didn't say this, but she acted basically like, I reached out to you and yes, I shit-talk you on a public platform, but I reached out to you.
She's like, I stopped shit-talking you. That's what she literally
After like
said.
4 episodes.
Did you guys watch that clip of the after show that I sent you? So it's like Sheena, Lala, and James.
Mm-hmm.
And they're asking them about, like, do you have any comments on, like, the Schwartz saying that Ariana has a massive ego now? And Sheena starts it off with, well, I definitely hear from her a lot less.
Because that is the major contributor to anyone's personality traits, is whether or not they talk to Sheena.
I literally don't understand why everyone is such a fucking hater about Ariana stacking her coin. She had her whole world ripped out from under her. God fucking forbid she should get some, like, positive repercussions.
She
from
capitalized
this.
on it. Good for her.
That's the thing, too, though, is, and even I think Schwartz commented, like, she is the last person to say anything negative about Tom. She doesn't even want to talk about him. She's just trying to move on with her life. It's like the reason why she's being applauded is because she did literally rise above when no one else on that cast has ever risen above anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have more thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Lee, please go away. Please, for the
What is
love
she doing
of
here?
God. That whole podcast scene where Tom is on Billy Lee's podcast, I was like,
The F, Marry, Kill one.
Billy Lee literally came crawling by her fingernails back to Vanderpump Rules because she had been hanging on the back, just waiting for her chance.
Waiting for her
back
time to
into the show.
And then when she was holding the cake for Tom to blow
Oh my
his
God,
candles
yes.
out, I was like, why? I've never looked at a man like I wanted to suck his dick as much as you look like that to Tom right now.
There have been rumors about them having a thing for like 6 or 7 years.
Since the first time Billy Lee was on the show.
Yeah.
So I believe it.
Yeah.
I also have like very intense feelings about the conversation with Vanderpump that Tom had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
We did too.
Trigger warning for our audience.
Yeah.
Conversation about self-harm and suicide. Am I the worst fucking person on earth if I say I did not believe him and that he was manipulating Vanderpump?
I was going to say the same thing.
So Mike and I were like, I believe that he probably felt that way, but I think that he weaponized that to Lisa because, like, I know how bad the press can get. I know, like, she's so serious about mental health. Like, when that happened with her brother, like, and I really feel like he weaponized it to make her feel bad, and that really pissed me off.
I just don't believe that he ever had
planned to follow through. No.
That's where because I like, and I have felt this. I've had I wish I wasn't alive feelings, but I haven't had I have thoughts of harming myself and making myself
and I do think there is
a distinction.
Like, the three of us have all dealt with mental health issues, and so I do think there is a distinct difference between being like, I do not wish to exist in this world right now. That is really, really, really different from I have a plan to remove myself from this world. Yeah. Those are really, really, really different. And I 100% believe that Sandoval was like, I don't want to be here. Fuck this life. Fuck this world. Fuck everyone. I don't want any of this. I don't think that he has it in him to not participate in the world and to not make himself the center of attention.
I agree.
Like, let's all put in a context what he was actually doing during this time, which was still touring with Sandoval.
And taking
with Tom
zero
Sandoval,
accountability still.
Taking zero accountability and, like,
putting Rachel's names and Schwartz's names into songs and all that stuff that like Sheena told him, like, stop touring and saying all this shit and like still fucking around if you actually care. Like, it's really hard to take him seriously when he's saying one thing and acting a different way.
Also, when James approached him and was like, are you at least going to apologize to me? And he goes, what about what you did to me? It was literally flashbacks to the Vile Files because it's like, you did something wrong. Well, what about when you did something similar wrong? Like, he literally cannot.
It is such apples and oranges. And the fact that he used the condom line again. Using my condoms. Dude, I was like, you're insane. You are insane. You're insane. You have lost touch with reality.
It's just a clear indicator of someone, like, we've all known this person where in there, like, you just want an apology from them. You just want them to be like, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. And they go, well, what about when you did that? Well, you did this all the time. So, and like, they can't just be like, you're right. I fucked up. I'm sorry. He can't do that.
I miss Tequila Katie.
Oh my gosh.
When she made the little comment.
They flashed like,
my husband won't even defend me. As soon as they did that, I was like, we should have known. Katie should have known that Tom wasn't the one. Then.
I do miss Tequila Katie.
She was the best. Katie and Sheena, when they went to their like awkward dinner, that was also disingenuous. If we want to talk, appreciate them trying to be friendly and whatever, but it just like doesn't flow, and we don't need it.
That's what was so weird to me is they were like, oh, once we realized that we both love Ariana and she was wronged and she needed both of us, we decided to put our differences aside. It's like, you can both still be there and like put your shit away while you're around Ariana and not have this fake pseudo friendship,
that part,
cringy thing.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
You can tell though that like Katie's probably never gonna let her guard down. Like, Sheena's always wanted to be everyone's friend. So
she's like a serial killer's wet dream.
The best line. The best line. No, you can tell Katie's literally just gonna be like, I will keep you here.
Yeah.
At all times.
Right. Absolutely.
I wrote this down from episode 2 because it's relevant to what we're talking about. In all capital letters, I just wrote down Sheena's music video.
Oh my god.
Stop. Why did they have to replay it for so long?
They showed so much of it.
With, what was that guy? Brett? Brett,
I think so. I think it's Brett. Brett was the worst.
I never needed to see that again.
I also wrote down from episode 2, I don't care that Sandoval's paying for all the bills.
I also, didn't you hear, I heard Ariana say in a video or something else that like he keeps paying for stuff and then she'll say like, can I have a breakdown of everything? And then he's not giving her that. And so, yeah, I'm not going to pay you either if you don't give me a fucking breakdown, of itemized breakdown of what's what. I'm not going to pay you either. This is your fault, dude.
What kills me is he said something like, oh, you think I have a contract with Spectrum? Show her the Spectrum bill. It literally comes in the mail every month.
Everything he says is a crock of shit.
Everything he says is a crock of shit, even down to offering her money for the house. He keeps saying he offered her $3.1 million. He did not offer her $3.1 million. He offered to pay her out to the equivalent of a $3.1 million house. Their house was appraised at almost $4 million. I'm excited to see where this season is taking us. I feel like it's gonna, like, I do think the first 2 episodes were a little puttering along, but this episode really charged me.
That's what I'm excited because I know they had to do this where they're like talking about the fallout of everything. And I do think as an audience, the people who kept up with everything in real time are probably fatigued from
it does feel a little rehashy,
Yeah, I'm fatigued from the storyline, and I'm a little bored by the stuff that I already know.
Yeah.
The next episode, they talk about going to Lake Tahoe in episode 3. Like, I know we haven't, like, I've heard things about it because of Rachel's podcast, but I don't know the inner workings of the episode, so I think it's going to be more interesting to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
Exciting.
Well, that's all I got. That's all I got for VPR.
I'll throw in a quick little tidbit because I did listen to Rachel's latest podcast because I've just been listening to see if it ends up getting interesting. And I don't think it's going to be. Every episode, she's still referencing VPR and people. And she's like going off the back of Tom did everything and I'm not responsible for any of this because of Tom and the way he runs his life or whatever. Like, Tom manipulated me. That's basically what she's saying.
That's
like, and she's relating it all back to like mental health, which like, because of who you are and the way you're raised and the way you deal with things, and if you never work on yourself, you are going to make shitty decisions like she did, and you are going to allow yourself to be manipulated by someone who wants to take advantage of you. But like, you're still responsible for your role, and that's where it's lacking. Is like, it's all very Tom did this to me.
Listen, girl, I'm one mentally ill bitch, but I've never fucking had an affair with my best friend's partner.
Yeah,
nope.
literally.
She'll talk a little bit about Tom did this, and like Tom did that, and Tom did this, Tom did that. Now I'm bringing on a professional to talk about why I felt that way when Tom did this, and like why I did what I did. So it's a lot of like, in court when they find an expert witness who believes the only thing that would support their case, and then they of course bring that person in. Like, that's what she's doing on her podcast, is hiring specific expert witnesses who will defend what she did by their own diagnosis.
That's so
amazing.
silly.
Well, if you enjoyed this episode of Fame and Fire, please give us a follow, like, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Fame and Fire Podcast. We love you, Fame Whores. Thank you for being here.
Stay chaotic.
Bye.
Bye.